Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a force so strong, yet so subtle, that it can change the course of your life without the need for noise, without the need for constant proving, without the need for constant approval. I'm talking about the power of quiet focus, the ability to center yourself, work diligently, and let your results speak for themselves. In a world that celebrates the loud, the flashy, the attention-seeking, there's a profound strength in silence. There's a sacred power in working behind the scenes, in preparing yourself, in investing in your growth quietly, without distraction. You see, the universe does not reward the one who shouts the loudest. The universe aligns with the one who moves with purpose. The one who focuses, the one who patiently plants seeds that will one day bear extraordinary fruit. Quiet focus is not laziness. Quiet focus is not passivity. It is a deliberate, intentional way of living. It is the ability to say, oh, no to distractions, no to negativity, no to the unnecessary noise that keeps you from your destiny. When you choose to focus, when you choose to hone your energy on what matters most, you unlock a power that cannot be shaken. Powerful results do not come overnight. They do not come from shortcuts or hype. They come from consistency. They come from discipline. They come from the patient pursuit of excellence day after day, even when no one is watching, even when your progress feels invisible. In that patient pursuit, you begin to notice something miraculous. Things start to flow naturally. Opportunities appear. Doors open. People are drawn to your energy. Life itself begins to conspire in your favor. When you master quiet focus, you understand that your worth is not measured by applause, likes, or recognition. Your worth is measured by your integrity, your perseverance, your commitment to your purpose. You become a force that cannot be stopped, not because you demand attention, but because your work, your discipline, your results speak louder than words ever could. Stop chasing noise. Stop chasing validation. Stop trying to impress the world. Focus on your craft, on your character, on your vision. Be intentional with your time, deliberate with your energy, and steadfast in your pursuit. And watch what happens when you let everything flow naturally. The life you have been dreaming of is already making its way to you. It just needs your quiet, wavering focus to recognize it, receive it, and steward it well. Remember, the power is not in the noise. The power is in the focus. The power is in the discipline. The power is in the patience. Let your actions be your announcement. Let your results be your testimony. And let everything else, the timing, the doors, the blessings, flow naturally in its perfect season. There is a power in silence that most people never understand. In a world that celebrates noise, clamor, and constant activity, those who embrace silence often appear weak or passive. But I am here to tell you today that silence is not weakness. It is strength. Silence is a reservoir of energy, a space where clarity is born and where greatness is quietly prepared. Those who learn the art of silence discover that it is one of the most potent tools for success, growth, and transformation. Think about it for a moment. The loudest voices in the room are not always the ones making the greatest impact. People shout, argue, and compete for attention, yet all that noise rarely leads to lasting results. Noise can distract, it can mislead, and it can blind you to what is truly important. On the other hand, the person who sits quietly, listens intently, and observes patiently is the one who sees opportunities before anyone else, who understands situations deeply, who positions themselves to strike at the right moment. Silence, my friends, gives you power because it allows you to see what others cannot see. When you embrace silence, you create space for reflection. In the quiet, you confront your true self. You face your fears, your weaknesses, and your desires. You ask the hard questions. Who am I really? What do I truly want? What is my purpose? When the world is screaming for your attention, silence allows you to hear the voice of your own wisdom. It allows you to connect with your inner guidance, inner compass that knows the right path even when the external world is chaotic. Silence also gives you the power to conserve energy. Every word we speak, argument we engage in, every unnecessary reaction consumes energy. Energy that could be invested in meaningful work, in personal growth, in the pursuit of your goals. By choosing silence, you refuse to expend your power on things that do not matter. You refuse to get caught up in the drama. gossip, the petty battles that leave others exhausted and frustrated. Instead, you save your strength for what truly matters. You prepare yourself quietly while others waste themselves in vain attempts to be noticed. There is also a spiritual dimension to silence. Throughout history, the wise and the powerful have understood that silence is sacred. It is in the quiet moments away from the noise and distraction that insight is received. Many of the greatest leaders, thinkers, and visionaries spent hours in contemplation, prayer, and reflection. Not shouting from rooftops, but sitting quietly, letting their minds and hearts align with their purpose. In silence, clarity emerges. In silence, intuition speaks. In silence, power grows. Silence is not just about being quiet. It is about intentional restraint. It is about knowing when to speak and when to hold back. It is about understanding that sometimes the most effective action is measured, thoughtful, and deliberate. When you are silent in moments when others are reacting impulsively, you gain the advantage. You become strategic, observant, and prepared. You become someone whose words carry weight because they are chosen carefully, spoken with authority, and backed by preparation. People will listen when you speak, not because you shouted the loudest, but because your silence has signaled depth, wisdom, and credibility. Silence is a shield. It protects your mind, your heart, and your vision. When you are silent, you are not exposing your weaknesses to the world. You are not giving others ammunition to distract or deter you. Silence allows you to protect your energy, your ideas, and your dreams until the time is right for them to emerge. Too often, people speak too soon. They reveal too much. They let the world in on their struggles, their plans, and their strategies before they're ready. Silence teaches patience. Silence teaches restraint. Silence ensures that when you act with power, precision, and purpose. There is also a lesson in silence about humility. When you do not need to prove yourself to others, you do not need constant recognition. You become unshakable. Your confidence is internal, not external. You are not dependent on applause or validation. Instead, you are motivated by a higher standard, the pursuit of excellence, the fulfillment of your vision, and the alignment of your life with your purpose. This kind of quiet confidence is magnetic. People are drawn to it. Opportunities find it. Life responds to it. And it all begins with silence. Let me tell you, silence is not always easy. In a society obsessed with constant communication, social media updates, and instant gratification, silence can feel uncomfortable. People may try to provoke you, distract you, or question your choices. They may think you are passive or uninvolved. But remember, this silence is not inactivity. It is preparation. It is reflection. It is mastery of self. It is the deliberate cultivation of focus, clarity, and power. The person who masters silence is the one who achieves results that are undeniable and lasting. When you embrace silence, you also embrace focus. You understand that life's greatest achievements are not the result of chaos, but of intentional, directed energy. You understand that rushing, reacting, constantly seeking attention will never lead to fulfillment. Instead, you commit to the work, the process, and the growth that others overlook. You plant your seeds quietly, nurture them diligently, and allow time to work its magic. And then, when the season is right, you act, and the world cannot ignore the results of your preparation. So today, I challenge you to embrace silence. Do not be afraid of being quiet in a noisy world. Do not feel pressured to constantly explain yourself or seek recognition. Instead, invest your energy in what truly matters, your growth, your vision, your craft, your purpose. Sit in the quiet, reflect deeply, plan strategically, work diligently, and let your actions, your discipline, and your results speak louder than any words ever could. Remember, there is power in silence. It strengthens you, sharpens you, protects you, and prepares you. It connects you to your inner wisdom and aligns you with the life you are destined to live. Those who understand this secret, those who harness the power of silence, move through life with unstoppable momentum, achieving results that others only dream of. In today's world, noise is everywhere. It is relentless, intrusive, and persistent. It comes from social media notifications, endless opinions, distractions at work, competing demands, and even from people who mean well but lack clarity. Everywhere you turn, there is noise clamoring for your attention, vying for your energy, and pulling you away from your true purpose. And in the midst of all this chaos, one thing becomes abundantly clear: the person who learns to focus over the noise is the person who wins. Focus over noise is not merely a strategy, it is a discipline, a lifestyle, and a mindset. It is the decision to prioritize what matters most in your life, to invest your energy where it yields fruit, and to refuse the distractions that derail your destiny. Noise, my friends, is seductive. It tempts you to scatter your energy in 100 directions, to chase trends, and to respond to every demand or distraction. But focus is powerful. Focus is intentional. Focus is the force that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. When you focus over noise, you learn to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important. The world will always shout at you, screaming for your attention, your opinion, your reaction. People will demand that you respond immediately, that you engage, that you prove yourself. But urgency is not always aligned with significance. Just because something demands your attention does not mean it deserves it. True focus requires discernment. It requires the wisdom to say no to the trivial, the shallow, and the distracting, and the courage to say yes to what moves you closer to your vision. Focus over noise also requires protection of your time and energy. Think about your life as a garden. If you allow weeds, distractions, negativity, and idle chatter to overrun your garden, the flowers of your purpose and potential will struggle to grow. Every minute spent on things that do not align with your purpose is a minute stolen from your dreams. By focusing over noise, you create space for deep work, reflection, and growth. You give your ideas room to mature. You give your talents room to flourish. You give your vision the attention it deserves. There is also a spiritual dimension to this principle. Noise clouds the mind and drowns out clarity. When your life is filled with constant chatter, opinions, unnecessary stimulation, it becomes difficult to hear the voice of guidance, the whisper of intuition, and the nudges of destiny. Focus over noise allows you to tune into your inner wisdom. It allows you to hear the quiet instructions that lead to breakthroughs. It allows you to align with opportunities that are invisible to those who are distracted, scattered, and preoccupied with noise. Focus over noise requires sacrifice. It is not convenient. It is not easy. The world will always offer you something to pull you off course, a trending topic, crisis that isn't yours, or the temptation to compare yourself to others. But the disciplined person, the person who chooses focus, understands that every yes to distraction is a no to their purpose. Focus is the ability to delay gratification, to resist temptation, and to keep your eyes on the prize, even when the noise is loudest. When you focus over noise, you gain clarity in your decision-making. You begin to understand which battles are worth fighting and which are best ignored. You begin to see patterns and connections that others miss. You recognize the value of your time, the importance of your energy, and the power of your attention. And once you master this, you begin to operate at a level of efficiency, effectiveness, and impact that is unmatched by those who are constantly distracted. Focus over noise is not only about what you avoid, it is also about what you embrace. It is about directing your attention toward the things that truly matter: your personal growth, your vision, your relationships, your craft, and your mission. Focus transforms effort into results. It turns intention into action. It allows you to make measurable progress day by day, step by step, without being derailed by the endless barrage of distractions around you. There is a lesson here about patience as well. Focus over noise teaches you that results are not always immediate. The world may reward the loud, the flashy, and the attention-seeking, but those results are often fleeting. True, lasting impact comes from sustained, focused effort. It comes from mastering your craft, building your character, and pursuing your purpose with undivided attention. Noise tempts you with instant gratification. Focus shows you the power of persistence, preparation, and patience. Focus over noise also builds resilience. When you are intentional about your attention, you are less likely to be swayed by criticism, doubt, or distraction. You develop the ability to stay grounded in the face of chaos, to remain calm when others panic, and to persevere when the world seems to demand immediate reaction. Focus allows you to move with confidence, purpose, clarity even when the noise is at its loudest. Finally, focus over noise empowers you to create your own reality. It allows you to shape your life according to your vision, rather than reacting to the external pressures and distractions that constantly seek to control you. When you focus, you are in control. When you focus, you are intentional. When you focus, you move with power, clarity, and authority. Noise may be loud, persistent, and tempting, but it is powerless against the disciplined mind that chooses focus over distraction. Choose focus over noise. Protect your time. Guard your energy. Prioritize your vision. Refuse to be distracted by the trivial, the dramatic, or the superficial. Sit in the quiet moments, reflect deeply, and engage intentionally. And watch as your life transforms. Watch as doors open, as opportunities appear. As the results of your focused effort begin to manifest in ways that noise could never produce. The world will always be loud. It will always demand your attention. It will always compete for your energy. But the person who focuses over noise is the one who achieves greatness. The person who focuses over noise is the one who discovers clarity, purpose, and power. The person who focuses over noise is unstoppable. Focus over noise is not just a principle, it is a path. It is the key to unlocking your potential, to achieving your dreams, to living a life of purpose and impact. Embrace it, practice it, protect it, and let the world around you fade into the background as you rise above, focused, disciplined, and powerful. There's a power in patience that the world often overlooks. We live in an age of instant gratification, where waiting is seen as weakness and immediate results are glorified. We want success now, recognition now, answers now. But let me tell you something today. Greatness is never rushed. True lasting results are not achieved by haste. They are produced by patience. Patience is not passive, it is active. Patience is a force, a discipline, a commitment to seeing the long game, and it is in patience that extraordinary outcomes are born. Patience produces results because it allows you to grow in alignment with your purpose. Every dream, every vision, every goal has its own timing. When you rush, you risk skipping the very lessons, experiences, and preparation that are essential for the fruition of your dreams. Life is not simply about reaching the destination. It is about the journey, the growth, and the preparation that occurs along the way. Patience ensures that when your breakthrough comes, you are ready to receive it, to steward it well, and to sustain it. Think about it for a moment. Greatest achievements in history were not the result of a single day's work. They were born out of persistence, endurance, and patient effort over months, years, even decades. The farmer does not expect to harvest wheat the day he plants the seed. He waters it, nurtures it, protects it from the elements, waits for the season to come. The same principle applies to your life. Patience is the seed, preparation is the water, and results are the harvest. If you try to rush the process, you may destroy the potential of what could have been. Patience also builds character. When you wait, when you endure delays, you continue to work faithfully without immediate recognition. You develop strength, resilience, and wisdom. These qualities cannot be faked. They cannot be bought, and they cannot be bought, and they cannot be hurried. They are forged in the fires of waiting and the quiet moments when the world does not see your effort. Patience teaches you humility, discipline, and the value of perseverance. And it is this character that sustains success when it finally arrives. Another truth about patience is that it cultivates clarity. When you rush, your vision becomes clouded by urgency, anxiety, and impulsive decisions. Patience allows you to pause, reflect, and discern the right course of action. It allows you to see beyond immediate frustration and temporary setbacks. Patience gives you the ability to wait for the right opportunities rather than settling for what is convenient or immediate. It allows you to make decisions that are guided by wisdom rather than impulse, and it ensures that your results are not only powerful but lasting. Patience produces results because it aligns you with the natural rhythm of life. There is a season for everything: growth, preparation, action, and reward. When you act prematurely, you may find yourself in conflict with timing, encountering unnecessary obstacles. I challenge you to love it enough, or missing opportunities that would have been available if you had waited. But when you embrace patience, you move in harmony with life's timing. You are prepared and positioned and aligned for the blessings and breakthroughs that are destined for you. Patience ensures that when your moment comes, You are standing in the perfect place to receive it fully. There is also a spiritual dimension to patience. It is in the waiting that faith is strengthened. It is in the delays that your trust is refined. Patience allows you to surrender control and acknowledge that some things are beyond your immediate power. It teaches you to rely on process, preparation, and guidance rather than on immediate outcomes. Those who understand this secret do not despair when progress seems slow. They do not become discouraged when results are delayed. Instead, they maintain their effort, their faith, and their vision, knowing that patience produces results that are worth waiting for. Patience also builds perseverance. Many people give up just before their breakthrough. They grow weary, frustrated, and impatient. They abandon their efforts because they expect immediate reward. But those who endure, those who persist with patience, are the ones who see their dreams realized. Patience allows you to endure the storms, withstand criticism, continue moving forward, even when it seems like the world is moving against you. And in that endurance lies the promise of results that others cannot imagine. Patience protects your investment, whether it is your time, energy, resources, or talents. Acting prematurely can waste what you have worked so hard to build. Waiting with patience ensures that every step you take is deliberate, thoughtful, and aligned with your ultimate goals. It allows you to avoid costly mistakes, to make strategic decisions, and to position yourself for the maximum return on your effort. In essence, patience multiplies results. It turns preparation into reward, effort into accomplishment, and persistence into triumph. Patience produces results because it teaches you the value of timing. Life is not about rushing ahead of your season. It is about recognizing the moments that are ripe for action and moving decisively when the time is right. Patience is the bridge between vision and manifestation. It allows dreams to mature, opportunities to ripen, and preparation to reach completion. And when the time comes to act, everything you have done in patience converges to create powerful, unstoppable momentum. Finally, patience produces results because it cultivates gratitude and appreciation. When you wait, when you persevere, when you finally see your efforts bear fruit, the reward is sweeter, deeper, and more meaningful. You do not take it for granted. You recognize the journey, the growth, preparation that led to this moment. Patience allows you to experience fulfillment, not just in the outcome, but in the process itself. It allows you to honor your own effort, your persistence, and your dedication. So today, I challenge you to embrace patience. Do not despise delays. Do not grow weary when progress is slow. Do not compare your journey to the impatience of others. Instead, commit to steady, persistent, patient effort. Plant your seeds, water them, protect them, and trust that in due season results will come. The world may rush, the world may shout. Those who endure with patience will harvest what is promised. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active preparation. Patience produces results because it aligns effort with time and cultivates character, strengthens perseverance, and multiplies the power of your work. Those who understand patience achieve more, last longer, and impact the world in ways that impatience can never accomplish. Discipline is non-negotiable. You can have talent, dreams, and vision, but without discipline, they remain dormant, unfulfilled, and incomplete. Discipline is the bridge between your potential and your reality. It is the structure that transforms ambition into achievement, dreams into results, and effort into lasting impact. If you want to live a life of purpose, power, and productivity, you must embrace discipline, not as an option, not as a suggestion, but as a non-negotiable principle of your life. Discipline is more than just routines or habits. It is a commitment to consistency, focus, and intentional action. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. It is choosing delayed gratification over immediate pleasure. It is the strength to say no to distractions, temptations, and excuses that seek to derail you from your purpose. Discipline is not always glamorous. It is not always easy. And it is not always popular, but it is always necessary for those who desire greatness. Think about it for a moment. Success is rarely an accident. It is rarely the result of luck or random opportunity. Success is built on the foundation of disciplined effort. The person who wakes up early, invests time in learning, hones their skills, and consistently works toward their goals is the person who rises above mediocrity. Discipline is what allows the ordinary to become extraordinary. It is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Without discipline, talent becomes wasted potential, ideas become forgotten, and vision becomes a fantasy. Discipline requires self-mastery. It demands that you control your impulses, your emotions, and your actions. The world will constantly tempt you with shortcuts, instant gratification, distractions, but the disciplined person rises above them. They understand that every decision, every action, every choice shapes the trajectory of their life. Discipline teaches you to prioritize, to focus, and to dedicate yourself fully to the pursuit of your goals. It transforms chaos into order, distraction into attention, and inconsistency into progress. There is also a spiritual and emotional component to discipline. It builds character. It teaches you perseverance, resilience, and integrity. When you commit to discipline, you develop the courage to do what others will not do. You cultivate patience when others quit. You nurture strength when others give in to weakness. Discipline is not simply about completing tasks. It is about becoming the kind of person who can handle success, responsibility, and influence. It is the foundation for living a life of honor, purpose, impact. Discipline is non-negotiable because it is the key to freedom. Many people think that discipline restricts them, that it limits their choices. The truth is the opposite. Discipline creates options. Discipline gives you control over your life, your time, and your destiny. It allows you to operate with intention rather than reaction. It enables you to achieve your goals efficiently and effectively. Without discipline is a series of missed opportunities, wasted energy, and unfulfilled potential. With discipline, life becomes a deliberate, powerful, and unstoppable force. Truth about discipline is that it compounds. Small, consistent acts of discipline accumulate over time into extraordinary results. Reading for 30 minutes a day, exercising consistently, managing your finances wisely, practicing your craft diligently. These actions may seem minor in isolation, but over weeks, months, and years, they transform your life. Discipline is the snowball effect. It grows, multiplies, and accelerates progress. Those who embrace it experience results far beyond what the untrained, disciplined mind can imagine. Discipline also protects you from regret. Without it, you may find yourself drifting, procrastinating, settling for mediocrity. You may look back years later and wonder why your life did not reflect the vision you once had. Discipline ensures that every day, every choice, and every effort is aligned with your highest potential. It prevents wasted time and wasted opportunities. It ensures that you live intentionally rather than reacting passively to the circumstances around you. Let us also consider the role of discipline in resilience. Life will test you. Challenges, setbacks, failures, and disappointments are inevitable. But discipline equips you to endure. Discipline trains your mind to stay focused when obstacles appear. Discipline strengthens your spirit when adversity knocks at your door. Discipline allows you to persevere when others falter, to stay committed when others quit, and to continue moving forward when the world seems to oppose you. It is the anchor that keeps you grounded amidst storms and turbulence. Discipline is also non-negotiable because it builds credibility and trust. When you consistently deliver on your commitments, honor your word, and follow through on your responsibilities, people notice. They recognize reliability, consistency, and professionalism. Discipline becomes a reputation, a testimony of character, and a magnet for opportunities. The world respects those who are disciplined because discipline communicates strength, integrity, and seriousness of purpose. Discipline is not something you develop once and forget. It is a lifelong commitment. It is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is about making the right choice over and over again, even when it is hard, inconvenient, or uncomfortable. Every day is an opportunity to exercise discipline, to strengthen your resolve, and to move closer to the life you were designed to live. Those who embrace discipline understand that it is not negotiable. It is the foundation for their freedom, their success, and their fulfillment. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for motivation, inspiration, or permission. Take responsibility for your life and commit to discipline in every area that matters. Control your habits. Guard your time. Focus your energy. Invest in your growth. Do the work even when no one is watching. Do the right thing even when it is difficult. And remember that discipline is not a burden. It is the key to unlocking your full potential. Discipline is non-negotiable because without it, talent is wasted, dreams fade, and potential is unrealized. Discipline is non-negotiable because it transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Discipline is non-negotiable because it equips you to overcome challenges, stay focused on your purpose, and achieve the life you desire. Discipline is non-negotiable because it is the force that turns vision into reality, effort into accomplishment, and intention into lasting impact. Embrace discipline, protect it, honor it, make it the guiding principle of your life. Let it shape your thoughts, your actions, your habits, and your destiny. And watch as the life you imagine, the life you have been working toward, unfolds before your eyes with power, precision, and purpose. There is a lie that the world wants you to believe, a lie that says your value depends on what others think of you. From a young age, we are told to seek approval, to gain recognition, and to measure ourselves by external standards. I am here to declare to you today that your worth is not external. Your value is not determined by applause, likes, promotions, or the opinions of others. Your worth is internal. It comes from your character, your integrity, your perseverance, and the purpose that lives within you. Too often, people spend their lives chasing validation from the outside. They compare themselves to others, seek recognition, and measure success by material possessions, titles, or social status. And yet, no matter how much external validation they receive, it is never enough. Because the truth is, if your worth is tied to the approval of others, it will always be fragile. It will always fluctuate with the opinions, moods, and judgments of the world. Your worth must come from within. It must be anchored in who you are, not what others say about you. Understanding that your worth isn't external frees you from a life of constant comparison. You no longer have to measure yourself against the successes or failures of others. You no longer have to define yourself by someone else's standards. You begin to see that your uniqueness, your gifts, and your potential are valuable simply because they exist. Your worth is inherent. It does not need justification. The very essence of who you are, created with intention, purpose, and design, is enough. When you realize that your worth isn't external, you stop seeking constant validation and begin to cultivate self-respect and self-trust. You no longer wait for someone else to tell you that you are enough. You begin to speak affirmations over yourself. You begin to nurture your talents, strengthen your character, and invest in your growth without needing a crowd to applaud your efforts. This internal validation becomes a foundation of confidence that cannot be shaken by criticism, rejection, or disappointment. There is a profound spiritual truth here as well. Your value is not contingent on external circumstances because it is rooted in something eternal, unchanging, and divine. Your life, your gifts, and your calling are inherently meaningful. No one can take away what is already within you. No opinion, no circumstance, no failure can diminish your value. When you anchor yourself in this truth, you are unmovable. You are steadfast. You are empowered to pursue your purpose boldly, knowing that your worth is not dependent on someone else's recognition. Understanding your internal worth also transforms the way you handle criticism and opposition. The world will always have detractors, skeptics, and naysayers. People may try to diminish you, belittle your efforts, or challenge your abilities. But when your worth is internal, external voices cannot define you. Criticism becomes feedback, not judgment. Opposition becomes motivation, not discouragement. You stand firm, guided by your understanding of your intrinsic value. You move forward undeterred, focused on fulfilling your potential. Your worth isn't external because it is tied to your contributions, your integrity, and your impact, not superficial recognition. Every act of kindness, every moment of diligence, every decision to do what is right, these define your value more than any award or praise ever could. When your focus shifts from seeking external validation to cultivating internal excellence, you begin to live a life of authenticity, significance, and influence. Your results, your actions, and your character become the proof of your worth, not the opinions of others. One of the most liberating aspects of internal worth is that it allows you to embrace your individuality. You no longer feel pressure to conform to society's standards, trends, or expectations. You recognize that your gifts, personality, and perspective are unique, and that your life's purpose is best fulfilled when you honor that uniqueness. When you stop looking outside yourself for approval, you are free to pursue your vision, take bold steps, and live a life that is authentically yours. Internal worth also teaches resilience. Life is unpredictable. Opportunities may be delayed, relationships may fail, and recognition may not come when expected. But when your value is internal, you do not depend on external circumstances to feel significant. You endure setbacks with confidence. You persevere in uncertainty. You continue to strive, grow, and contribute, knowing that your worth is unshakable, constant, and independent of the world's fleeting opinions. It is also important to note that recognizing your internal worth strengthens your relationships. When you no longer seek validation from others, you are free to give authentically. You love, support, and serve without expectation. You are not dependent on approval or affirmation from those around you. And this freedom allows your interactions to be genuine, meaningful, and impactful. Internal worth enables you to connect deeply, lead effectively, inspire authentically. Finally, your worth isn't external because it is eternal. Your life, your values, and your purpose transcend temporary circumstances. Material wealth, social recognition, and public approval fade, but the essence of who you are, the good you do, and the life you live with integrity endure. When you anchor your worth internally, you align with a source of value that is unending and unshakable. You become immune to the fleeting distractions of a world obsessed with superficial validation. Stop measuring yourself by what others think. Stop seeking approval from the world. Stop defining your life by external markers. Your worth is not in the applause you receive, the accolades you earn, the opinions of those around you. Your worth is in your character, your integrity, your perseverance, and the gifts that God has placed within you. Embrace it, celebrate it, protect it, live from it. Remember, your worth isn't external. It cannot be taken, diminished, or dictated by anyone else. It is inherent. It is constant. It is yours. When you live anchored in this truth, nothing can shake your confidence. Nothing can derail your purpose. Nothing can stop the life you were created to live. There is a principle in life that cannot be ignored. Opportunities do not simply fall into your lap. They follow preparation. The world will tell you to wait for luck, to hope for chance encounters, to rely on timing. But the truth is, opportunity always aligns with preparation. The person who is ready, who has worked diligently, who has honed their skills and sharpened their mind, is the one who steps into doors that others do not even see. Preparation is the foundation. Opportunity is the reward. Without preparation, even the most extraordinary chance will pass you by. Think about it for a moment. How often have you witnessed someone stumble into a situation that seems perfect for them, only to realize that they were not ready to handle it? Their lack of preparation turned what could have been a breakthrough into a missed moment. Life is full of those instances. Opportunities are everywhere. Readiness is rare. The world rewards those who have prepared, those who have invested in themselves, and those who have patiently built the skills, knowledge, discipline required to seize the moment. Preparation requires intentional effort. It demands that you invest in your mind, your body, and your craft. It requires study, practice, reflection, and refinement. You cannot expect to achieve excellence without putting in the work. Opportunity favors the prepared mind, the skilled hands, and the disciplined heart. Every moment you spend learning, growing, and perfecting your craft is an investment in the opportunities that will come to you. Without preparation, chance is meaningless. Opportunity becomes elusive. There is a spiritual principle here as well. Many people pray for opportunities, for doors to open, for breakthroughs to appear. Prayer must be accompanied by preparation. You cannot expect results without readiness. When you align your effort with your vision, you prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You position yourself for blessings that are beyond coincidence. Preparation is the bridge between faith and fulfillment. It ensures that when opportunity appears, you are ready to step in and claim it with confidence and competence. Preparation also builds confidence. When opportunity knocks, you want to answer it with assurance, not hesitation. Confidence comes from knowing that you have done the work, that you are equipped, that you are ready for the challenges that lie ahead. Without preparation, fear and doubt dominate. You hesitate, you second guess, you miss the moment. When you have prepared, when you have invested in yourself, you step forward boldly, knowing that opportunity meets readiness. Preparation allows you to respond with excellence, authority, and grace. Another truth about preparation is that it creates momentum. Every step you take toward readiness compounds. Every skill you master, every lesson you learn, every effort you make positions you for greater results. Preparation is not wasted effort. It is the seed from which opportunity grows. The time you spend refining yourself, learning your craft, building your character is never lost. It accumulates, and when the right moment comes, you will be able to move with speed, precision, and impact. Opportunities follow preparation because preparation demonstrates commitment. Life rewards those who are willing to invest the time, energy, discipline required to be ready. When you prepare, you show that you take your goals seriously. You show that you are willing to do what others will not. And this commitment is magnetic. It draws opportunities, mentors, and resources toward you. People notice readiness even when you do not announce it. The universe responds to effort, diligence, and perseverance. Preparation also teaches patience. Opportunities often do not arrive on our timeline. They may seem delayed, or they may be hidden behind challenges and obstacles. But those who are prepared understand that timing matters. They continue to grow, to learn, and to strengthen themselves, knowing that when opportunity arrives, it will find them ready. Patience combined with preparation creates a perfect alignment between action and timing, ensuring that breakthroughs happen at the right moment. Maximum impact. Consider the stories of those who have achieved greatness. Rarely were they simply lucky. They were prepared. They studied. They practiced. They honed their skills, and they positioned themselves for opportunity. When their moment came, they were ready. Doors opened, people aligned. Circumstances worked in their favor, not because luck found them, but because preparation made them ready to seize it. Opportunity always meets readiness, and preparation is the key to being ready. Preparation is also about mindset. It is about training your mind to recognize opportunity when it appears. Prepared individuals seize possibilities where others see obstacles. They think strategically, anticipate challenges, and position themselves advantageously. Preparation sharpens perception, owns judgment, and develops the ability to act decisively. Opportunities may be all around us, but only those prepared to recognize and respond to them can seize them. Finally, preparation demonstrates respect for yourself, for your vision, for your potential. When you take the time to prepare, you honor your goals. You honor your calling. You honor the life you were designed to live. Opportunities are valuable, but their value is only realized when met with readiness. To fail to prepare is to fail the moment, to miss the chance to fulfill your purpose. Prepare, invest in yourself, study, practice, reflect, and grow. Strengthen your skills, refine your mind, build your character. Position yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for the opportunities that are destined for you. Work diligently even when no door appears open. Labor faithfully even when recognition seems distant. Because when you prepare, opportunity follows. When you are ready, the world aligns. When your time comes, you will step forward with confidence, competence, and power. Opportunities do not arrive randomly. They align with preparation. You cannot wait for chance to change your life. You cannot rely on luck, coincidence, timing alone. You must invest in yourself, develop your skills, and prepare relentlessly. The world will reward the person who is ready, person who waits. When preparation meets opportunity, success becomes inevitable. Prepare diligently. Prepare intentionally. Prepare tirelessly. Watch as doors open, paths align, and your destiny unfolds with precision, power, and purpose. Opportunities follow preparation. And those who understand this principle will always be ready to seize the life they were created to live. There is a truth that the world often forgets. Words can be loud, but results are louder. Many people spend their lives talking, promising, explaining, defending themselves, yet they fail to produce anything of substance. Others boast of intentions, dreams, and potential. Their lives are empty of tangible outcomes. I am here to tell you today that results speak louder than words ever could. Actions, effort, and achievement are the true measures of character, capability, and impact. Let your work, your discipline, and your results do the talking, and you will find a power and respect that words alone cannot create. Talking without action is empty. Promises without follow-through are meaningless. Words can impress momentarily, but they cannot sustain influence, open doors, or change your destiny. The world respects performance, not proclamation. Your words may convince people temporarily, but your results prove your worth permanently. When you focus on producing tangible outcomes, you create credibility, trust, and authority that cannot be challenged or taken away. Let results speak because the world is filled with noise. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has advice. Everyone has commentary. If you rely on talking, explaining, or justifying, you are contributing to the noise. But when you focus on results, you rise above the noise. You demonstrate clarity, precision, and purpose. People will not need to listen to your excuses. They will see your impact. Your accomplishments be the testimony of your dedication, your discipline, and your vision. Results speak because they are undeniable. They cannot be argued with, twisted, or dismissed. Your efforts, when executed consistently and with excellence, become visible proof of your capability. They communicate what words cannot: your commitment, your resilience, and your power. There is a quiet authority in someone whose life reflects results. It commands respect, it inspires others, and it positions you as someone whose influence is earned, not claimed. Let results speak because action is transformative. When you focus on producing outcomes, you are not only proving your ability to the world, you are transforming yourself in the process. Effort builds skill. Action builds confidence. Discipline builds character, and these internal transformations manifest externally in results. The person who consistently works, learns, and grows is unstoppable. Results are simply the reflection of the internal growth that occurs when you prioritize action over talk. Challenging truth about letting results speak is that it removes the burden of constant explanation. People will always have opinions, doubts, and judgments. When you spend your time trying to convince them of your worth, you waste energy that could be used to produce more. But when your life, your work, and your results speak for themselves, you no longer need to justify yourself. Your impact becomes your argument, your achievements become your testimony, your success becomes your voice. Let your results carry the weight of your message. Results speak because they are enduring. Words are temporary. Promises can fade, recognition can be fleeting, but results leave a legacy. They stand as evidence of your effort, skill, and vision. They become part of the story that others tell about you long after you are gone. When you focus on producing results, you invest in a life that matters. You create influence that endures. You establish credibility that cannot be erased. Let results speak because they command respect quietly but powerfully. There is something magnetic about someone who doesn't feel the need to boast or prove themselves, but whose achievements are undeniable. People are drawn to competence. They are influenced by skill. They are inspired by consistency. When your life reflects tangible results, you no longer need to argue for validation. The world acknowledges it naturally. Success becomes the loudest voice in the room. Results speak because they are a reflection of preparation, patience, and perseverance. People who produce extraordinary outcomes understand that results are rarely instantaneous. They come from discipline, focus, and sustained effort over time. The results you see in life are the accumulation of countless decisions, consistent habits, and persistent action. By letting your results speak, you show the world that you understand the process, respect the journey, and are willing to do what it takes to achieve excellence. Results speak because it protects your energy. Engaging in arguments, justifications, and endless explanations drains you. It consumes mental, emotional, physical energy. but focusing on producing results channels that energy into productivity, growth, and impact. Every action you take, every goal you pursue, every milestone you achieve contributes to a powerful narrative, one that does not require debate or validation. Let your work become your amplifier, your achievements your testimony, and your results your voice. Finally, let results speak because they inspire others. Words can motivate for a moment, but results provide proof that transformation, progress, and success are possible. When people see your dedication, discipline, and tangible achievements, they are encouraged to follow, to work harder, and to believe in the power of action. Results create a ripple effect, influencing not just your own life, but the lives of everyone around you. Your impact multiplies when your results speak louder than your words. So today, I challenge you, stop trying to convince, explain, or justify. Stop shouting above the noise. Stop relying on words alone to prove your worth. Focus instead on your work, your craft, and your purpose. Invest in your growth, commit to your discipline, and let your results do the talking. Let your actions, your achievements, and your progress speak louder than any argument, opinion, or doubt. Words are temporary, but results are lasting. Words can impress, but results influence. Words can promise, but results prove. When you prioritize action over explanation, when you focus on producing rather than proclaiming, you step into a life of authority, respect, and unstoppable momentum. Let your results speak and watch as the world responds, opportunities align. Your life becomes a living testimony of power, purpose, and excellence. There is a difference between simply existing and truly living. Many people move through life on autopilot, reacting to circumstances, following routines, and letting the world dictate their path. They wake up, go through the motions, and wonder why they feel unfulfilled, stagnant, or disconnected from purpose. I am here to tell you today that intentional living changes everything. To live intentionally is to live with purpose, with focus, and with clarity. It is the deliberate choice to align your actions, your decisions, and your energy with the life you are meant to live. Intentional living requires awareness. It demands that you understand the power of your choices and the weight of your actions. Every decision you make, every word you speak, every relationship you nurture, every effort you expend carries consequences. When you live intentionally, you stop drifting. You stop allowing life to happen to you. You take responsibility for your own growth, your own destiny, and your own success. You understand that a life without intention is a life of wasted potential, and you refuse to settle for mediocrity. Living intentionally begins with clarity of purpose. You must know what matters to you, what your goals are, and what legacy you want to leave behind. Without clarity, you are like a ship without a rudder, constantly tossed by the waves of circumstance and opinion. When you define your vision and your purpose, every decision becomes aligned with that vision. Every action has meaning. Every step you take propels you closer to the life you desire. Intentional living is not random. It is deliberate, focused, and powerful. Intentional living also demands discipline. It requires saying no to distractions, temptations, and influences that do not serve your purpose. The world will constantly seek to pull you away from what matters most. Social media, idle chatter, toxic relationships, unnecessary obligations are all designed to drain your energy and scatter your focus. But when you live intentionally, you protect your time, conserve your energy, and direct your efforts toward what truly advances your vision. Discipline becomes the backbone of intentional living. Another essential aspect of intentional living is prioritization. You cannot do everything and you cannot please everyone. To live intentionally, you must make conscious choices about where your attention and energy go. You must focus on the activities, relationships, and pursuits that bring growth, value, and fulfillment. Everything else must be minimized, delegated, or eliminated. Intentional living is not about being busy. It is about being purposeful. It is about creating impact rather than simply filling time. Intentional living also requires reflection. You must pause regularly to evaluate your choices, Assess your progress and adjust your course when necessary. Life is dynamic, circumstances change, and opportunities arise that may require new strategies. By reflecting intentionally, you remain aligned with your goals and purpose. You identify what works, what doesn't, and where improvements are needed. Reflection transforms experiences into the lessons, mistakes into growth, and challenges into opportunities for better alignment with your vision. Living intentionally enhances your relationships. When you are clear about your values and priorities, you engage with others from a place of authenticity and purpose. You no longer allow negative influences or unhealthy connections to drain your energy. You invest in relationships that uplift, inspire, and challenge you to grow. Intentional living teaches you to communicate, support, and love with clarity. Your relationships become meaningful, mutually enriching, and aligned with your life's mission. Intentional living also builds resilience. Life is full of setbacks, disappointments, and unexpected changes. When you live with intention, you are not easily shaken by adversity. You have a clear vision and a strong sense of purpose that guide you through challenges. You understand that obstacles are temporary and that every difficulty is an opportunity to learn, grow, and strengthen your character. Intentional living transforms setbacks into stepping stones and adversity into advantage. Moreover, intentional living cultivates fulfillment. A life without intention is often a life of regret, moments wasted, opportunities missed, and dreams deferred. But when you live intentionally, every day becomes meaningful. Every action, every decision, every effort contributes to your vision. You wake up with purpose, move with direction, end your day knowing that you have invested in what truly matters. Fulfillment is not found in external validation. It is found in living a life that aligns with your values, your goals, and your purpose. Intentional living is also contagious. When others see your clarity, focus, and purpose, they are inspired. Your intentional choices influence those around you. Your discipline motivates, your authenticity encourages, your results demonstrate what is possible when life is lived deliberately. You become a beacon for others, showing that it is possible to rise above chaos, distraction, and conformity, to live a life of focus, impact, and fulfillment. Finally, intentional living empowers you to leave a legacy. A life lived intentionally leaves footprints that others can follow. It shapes communities, inspires generations, and creates lasting impact. Your choices aligned with purpose build structures, values, and influence that endure long after your presence. To live intentionally is to live with awareness of the mark you leave, to steward your life with care, to embrace the responsibility that your actions have power beyond yourself. Stop drifting. Stop reacting to circumstances. Stop letting the world decide your priorities, your focus, and your energy. Begin to live intentionally, clarify your purpose, align your actions, protect your time, reflect on your progress, invest in relationships that matter, pursue growth relentlessly, and let every decision, every action, every effort be a deliberate step toward the life you are called to live. Remember, intentional living is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It transforms ordinary existence into extraordinary impact. It turns potential into reality, dreams into achievements, and effort into legacy. Every day is an opportunity to live with intention, to move with purpose, and to create a life that is powerful, meaningful, and unstoppable. Live intentionally and watch as your life aligns, as your vision unfolds, and your destiny is realized. There is a rhythm to life, a current that moves through every circumstance, every season, and every journey. Many people fight against it, struggle with it, or try to control it, believing that if they push harder, pull faster, demand more, they will arrive at their destination sooner. But I am here to tell you today that power lies not in resistance, but in trust. Trust the flow. Trust the process. Trust the timing of your life, even when it doesn't make sense to your mind, even when it feels uncertain, even when the world seems impatient. Trusting the flow requires faith, faith in yourself, faith in your journey, faith in the alignment of life with your purpose. The flow of life is not random, it is intentional. Every experience, every challenge, every delay, every blessing is part of a greater design. When you resist the flow, you create tension, frustration, and stagnation. But when you surrender, You let go of the need to control every detail when you embrace the natural rhythm of life. You position yourself for ease, alignment, and breakthrough. Think about rivers. Water does not struggle to flow around obstacles. It moves with the current, finding paths, creating channels, overcoming barriers naturally. The river does not force its way, it trusts the flow. And in that trust, it reaches the ocean. So it is with your life. You cannot force every outcome, predict every twist, or control every circumstance. But when you trust the flow, you navigate life with grace, adaptability, purpose. You allow the current of preparation, opportunity, and timing to carry you toward your destiny. Trusting the flow does not mean inactivity. Does not mean passivity or laziness. On the contrary, it requires effort, focus, and persistence, but it also requires patience and wisdom. Means doing your part, preparing, working, learning, and growing, while also recognizing that certain results will come in their own time. You cannot rush growth, you cannot force alignment, and you cannot manufacture destiny. Trusting the flow is about harmonizing your effort with timing, action with patience, and ambition with understanding. There is also a spiritual principle in trusting the flow. Life is a series of seasons, each with its own purpose and lessons. Some seasons are for preparation, others for action, and still others for reflection. When you resist the natural flow of your season, you may miss the lessons, the growth, or the opportunities embedded within it. Trusting the flow allows you to fully embrace each season, to learn what you need to learn, to build what you need to build, and to prepare for what is coming next. The flow of life is your guide, your teacher, and your pathway to fulfillment. Trusting the flow requires surrender. It requires letting go of the need to control every detail, the urge to micromanage outcomes, and the compulsion to force timelines. Life unfolds in patterns. Timing matters more than force. When you try to push too hard, you create resistance, frustration, and setbacks. But when you surrender and trust, the obstacles become manageable, the opportunities more apparent, and the journey more fulfilling. Surrender is not weakness, it is strength. It is the acknowledgement that while you can influence, act, and grow, some things are beyond your immediate control. Trusting the flow also fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable, full of unexpected twists, delays, and detours. When you resist the flow, these challenges can derail you. But when you trust it, you learn to adapt, to pivot, and to remain steadfast in your pursuit of your goals. Trust allows you to see setbacks not as failures, as part of the current guiding you toward your ultimate destination. You learn to bend without breaking, to flow around obstacles without losing momentum, to maintain faith when the path ahead is unclear. Another truth about trusting the flow is that it aligns you with opportunities. When you fight against life's natural current, you may overlook doors that are open, chances that are present, or connections that are available. When you trust, you move with awareness, clarity, and receptivity. You begin to recognize patterns, synchronicities, and openings that would otherwise go unnoticed. The flow of life brings what is meant for you, not always when you expect it, but always when you are ready. Trust positions you to receive with readiness and gratitude. Trusting the flow also cultivates patience. Impatience is the enemy of progress. When you rush, when you force, when you demand, you may achieve immediate results, but they often lack alignment, stability, or sustainability. True lasting success comes from a flow that has been nurtured, prepared, and aligned over time. Trusting the flow teaches you to wait without frustration, to persist without anxiety, and to believe that your efforts, combined with timing, will yield the outcomes you seek. Patience becomes a natural byproduct of trust, and patience itself is a source of power. Moreover, trusting the flow brings peace. There is freedom in surrender, calm in acceptance, and confidence in knowing that life is moving you toward your destiny. You no longer expend energy on worry, fear, or resistance. You focus instead on growth, preparation, and contribution. Your mind is clear, your heart is steady, and your actions are deliberate. Trusting the flow reduces stress, builds resilience, and allows you to navigate challenges with grace and clarity. Trusting the flow ultimately requires faith in timing. There is a right season for everything: growth, breakthrough, action, and reward. When you trust the flow, You allow life to unfold according to its natural rhythm, understanding that delays are often preparation, setbacks are often lessons, and detours are often realignments. Timing matters, preparation matters, alignment matters, and when these elements converge, the results are powerful, lasting, transformational. Stop fighting the current. Stop resisting the natural rhythm of your life. Stop forcing outcomes, rushing processes, trying to control what is not yours to control. Trust the flow. Prepare diligently, act intentionally, and remain patient and persistent. Surrender without surrendering your effort. Flow without losing your focus. Move with awareness, faith, and alignment. And watch as your journey unfolds. Your opportunities manifest and your destiny is realized. The river does not fight its path. It flows, it navigates, it overcomes, it reaches its destination. Your life is no different. Trust the flow. Align with the process. Believe in timing. And let the current of your purpose carry you to the life you were created to live.